Okay, great to be 3-1. A lot of teams wish they could be 3-1. That's where we are. We got a lot of improvement to do, much like we thought we would at this time of the year with this team, given the fact of the number of injuries we've had. But we're moving along. We're 3-1. We played a really good football team in Northern Illinois, about like we said they would be. We said they'd be physical, they'd be tough. We knew the strength of their team was on defense. That's the case, and that was the case. I'll start with offense. As I said, we had the stats. We rushed for 234. We had 5 explosives in the runs. We had 3 explosive passes. Our time of possession was 38 minutes. We had 18 first downs, total of 8 explosives for 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. We had a couple of good drives. We had some poor drives. We missed some opportunities, a couple of play actions that were there, wide open. And that's where we need to get better. We're very, very inconsistent right now, and that's got a lot to do with a lot of things. Most specifically would be the youth of our unit, coupled with some obviously very key injuries right now. On defense, we held them to 72 yards rushing, 81 yards passing. We were 3 of 15 on 3rd and 4th down conversions, which was outstanding. I thought we played great on defense all day, and I felt like we should play great on defense all day. I thought we were, we played against a unit that our defense would do well against. Special teams, Sherm had 2 returns for 21 yards, 10 yards an average, which was a good. We wanted to get better there. We got a little bit better there. He had the one where he slipped, which was too bad. Other than that, he would have had a pretty good day on punt returns. And we got a young freshman involved and kicked a critical field goal, which was great. Obviously, the thing that wasn't so great was the kickoff return at the end, which the only way you could let him in that game was that happening, and we did that. We kicked it, poor kick to about the 30, and then the thing was gone, which we've got to get handled. So that's where we were regarding last week's game. But again, a quality opponent. We're 3-1. And we have a chance. The best thing about being 3-1 is you got a chance to be 4-1. And we're getting ready to play a Duke team. Duke is outstanding. Really good football team. Start with them on defense. They're number 10 in total defense in the country. 29 against the run, 14 against the pass. The strength and experience of their defense in the secondary. They returned 3 starters. Kid number 16, Jeremy Cash. He's an outside linebacker, a walkout backer. I think he's a hell of a player. He was a wrecking crew against Georgia Tech. I think he's a force to be reckoned with. I really do. He's all over the field. I think Devon Edwards is also a kick returner. He's the free safety. I think he's excellent. I think their safety support is fantastic. Cornerback, Breon Borders, excellent player. And I think inside Carlos Ray, the defensive tackle, number 98, is a real run stopper. I think he's a very, very good football player. On offense, I think they're excellent. They're averaging 209 yards rushing per game, 239 passing. I like their quarterback. Cirque is a dual threat guy. He can run, he can throw. He's got good size. He's 6'4", 220. The 2 running backs, Powell and Wilson, I think are really good running backs. Good players, 5'10", 205, 5'9", 180. And the receivers, Barnes and T.J. Ramming, are excellent. I think they're a run-first offense, but I think the quarterback has got an excellent arm. So, he's a junior. He's got some experience, and he's a good player. They're well coached. They're sound. A good football team. And now we've got to go on the road to play them, which adds another element that would be a new and interesting element for our team, being that we have a lot of guys that will have never been on the road. So those are all the factors going into this game. We'll be without John Hillman. John Hillman had surgery on his foot. He'll be lost for an extended period of time. Miles Willis will be questionable. Louis Addazio will be questionable at best. This was a physical game that took a real toll on us from a personnel standpoint. The offense right now is just getting really hit with a lot of injuries. We're now down our 2 starting tight ends, our quarterback, our starting tailback, and we lost our center. So we're down a fair amount of guys on offense right now, which was a very young offense to begin with. So that's something that's not anything that we can do anything about other than the fact, though, that it's a little disruptive and it's adding to our lack of execution right now. And so it affects everything when you get in those situations. It affects everything you do, especially in the middle of a game. There was one point in the game last week where we were down three tailbacks. We closed the game with Rouse, Tyler. We didn't have anybody else available at that point in time. They were all out, every one of them. Outlaw was out from the beginning of the game. Hillman was out at that point for the game, and Willis was out of the game at that point. So we were down, depleted pretty good at that particular point in time, and that's why I give the kids a lot of credit. Our kids a lot of credit. We hung in there and we found a way to win, given all that adversity, and that's a good thing. When you start complaining about wins, it's probably a good thing. You could be complaining about a loss, but you're complaining about wins. So that's a good thing. Hang on there, battle, find a way to win each week. Just dig in, claw, fight, and learn how to deal with adversity, which is what I know the offense is dealing with, a lot of adversity right now, mostly with injuries. Because I just breezed by the quarterback position, but when you lose your quarterback, you lost a lot, okay? Especially when the other guys have not taken very many snaps, if any at all, right? So that's where we are. Any questions?
Is Tyler capable of 25 to 30 carries? Can he handle that kind of workload?
Yeah, sure. Yep, he is. He's the toughest guy in our football team.
How much have you had to change what you do on offense?
What's changing for us is it's just really difficult to call a game right now because you're worried about a lot of different things that are going on right now. You're really trying to find a way to win. Is what you're trying to do. And finding a way to win is not turning that ball over. That's how you try to find a way to win. So that's really what we're doing right now. And we got a situation going where we're playing two quarterbacks right now. And really one of the things about playing two quarterbacks right now is we need to get them both experience in case we lose one. We can't play one guy right now and then all of a sudden something happens and then you got another guy that's never really played before. So we've got to integrate them. And that integration is hard right now because they kind of have a little bit two different skill sets a little bit. So, you're trying to deal with that, and then their youth. You get one guy who puts the ball on the ground, you're trying to settle him down a little bit. You got to settle him down a little bit, and then try to get him back going again, And then you got another guy. Both those guys had some good moments, and they had some tough moments. We threw a play-action pass that went 70 on us, We put the ball on the ground on air. So you're in there trying to, with nothing more than just a gut feeling, trying to manage that. And that's what it is. You're managing that. It's not that easy now. I'm the one who's got to be on the ground. I'm on the field looking at the look in their eye. I got to deal with what I see as an emotional state that I have to deal with. There's a lot to that now, when you're 17 years old,
Is there any way you can get that type of production or that type of learning when you're not in the game?
No. It just doesn't happen. We try, but there's nothing like the game. The speed of the game, the intensity of the game. It'll get better each week. If one guy clearly could have some just really moving that team, we'd stay with him. But nothing was clear in that game last week. Nothing. Say, well, let it stay and find that out. Yeah, okay. Well, that's great. But what happened is you saw Jeff Smith made some pretty good plays. And then you saw Troy Flutie made a couple of pretty good passes. But you saw the good and you saw the bad. And it happened right in front of mine and your eyes. And so that coupled with the fact that we got to get them both going. Now, what's that exact mix right now? I told you last week I didn't know the answer to that, and I still don't know the answer to that, okay? And I probably won't know the answer to that for a little bit now. So we're going to have to they're two different skill sets. When we want to attack them with a little bit of option football, you got Jeff, and Troy can do a little bit of everything. But if all of a sudden one guy turns the ball over, you got to get him out. There's just a few issues in there right now. It's not that easy. In fact, it's hard. It's pretty hard. What else?
I guess I'm to deduce that you haven't decided on a starting quarterback for Sunday, for Saturday?
I mean, I would say we'll start with Troy,
Okay.
and we'll go, and what that means. I just can't define that for you right now. I mean, I'm not going to. I'm going to watch it, you know. But I'm going to get them both in the game, and they're both going to get experience, and we're going to keep trying to develop both guys, and that's what we're going to do. I wish it wasn't that way, to be honest with you, but that's the way it is.
Catching up to the news about John, when did you detect he had an issue with this, or was it during the game? Or?
It was during the game.
Yeah.
Came out, hurt his foot, and couldn't go, and that was it. And then after the game, I just really thought we were dealing with some sort of foot sprain. I had no idea that, after I left my press conference, I was going to find out that, he had a fracture.
One of the wrist frame?
No. He's just got a fracture. He'll be back, but it's going to be extended period of time.
Do you think it might have happened when he was running that kid down?
No. It happened at towards when he came out. He made a cut. He just planted, and that was it.
I mean, to that point, I mean, he had been running like his old self.
Right. Isn't that unbelievable? Yep. Got that going. That's one thing we wanted to get going last week. We challenged those guys, and we got it going. Giveth, taketh away. Move forward. That's where it is.
Steve, why was Duke so effective against Tech's ground game?
Watching the film, first of all, it was pouring rain. Not that has to have anything to do with anything, but it was really bad weather. But secondly, I thought they did a great job they were all over the place. I think it looked to me, having not watched Georgia Tech, right, prior to that, they looked like they're getting them a lot of different multiple looks on defense. And they were playing with a lot of grit, running to the ball, and just beat them. I mean, there was a lot of unblocked defenders at the point of attack. Why? I'm not here to judge or know. There was a lot of unblocked defenders at the point of attack. I thought Duke played exceptionally hard and well. To their credit, I thought but they're the number 10 ranked defense in the country, right? So, or against the rush or whatever it is, right? Yeah, 10th in total defense. 10th in total defense. We're going to face another good defensive team, which is good. It's good.
Can you speak to just some of the play? You got some special teams. I know you had some give and take there as well, but were you at all encouraged by some of the plays that you did get?
Yeah, I said, I don't know if you're here, but they said, I talked about Sherm was able to get some punt returns going. He averaged 10 yards apiece, which was good. We fell down on one of them, which we lost about 30 yards of field position. But I think we're improving there. I don't think we're where we need to be on kickoff return yet. I'm not happy with the kickoff return. Obviously, I didn't even mention that, right? Alex Howell's been hurt. I mean, that's we're dealing with. One of our biggest weapons is our punter, and he's been hurt. So, he was out there without practicing and didn't have his best day. But I think all in all, I think we're improving. I mean, but we gave up the big kickoff return, but a lot of that had to do with the kick, It was a very short kick.
What's ailing Alex right now?
He has a quad injury on his kicking leg. He's had it for over a week.
Is that just a function of overusage, fatigue?
I wouldn't, no, I think it's just an injury. He just strained his quad kicking.
And you had Colton Lichtenberg go out there for,
Yep.
I guess, a field goal
Yep.
that you attempted.
Yep.
What did you think about how he handled that situation?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Who knows what tomorrow brings? I'm dealing right now. I'm dealing in the day-to-day mode right now. I don't know what tomorrow brings. Seems like every week. We've been pretty fortunate here with the injury deal. We're getting waxed pretty good on offense. Defense is fine, but on offense we're getting waxed pretty good right now with these injuries. So they run in cycles. That's what happens. We have to weather it. You just have to keep weathering it. But the problem is when you're young like we are and you have that happen, it just hits you twice. You know what I mean? Because you're losing the smaller number of somewhat experienced guys that you have. Difficult.
Did you feel as though you got some traction offensively? I mean, I know you got John going. You had to deal with the quarterback situation and trying to get that settled, but it seemed like you were able to have some sustained drives.
We did. We're very inconsistent on offense. It's like it's been the same since Maine. You know, I've been around in years in my career where, you know, let me say it like this. Even here, 2 years ago, we were pretty good up front, right? Really pretty good. We go down and play what I think was the best defense in America. That was Clemson. I thought it was the best defensive front in the country, period end. And there's a lot of plays where you're just watching our guys coming off the ball, and they were playing against really good players, and we weren't getting much done in the run game, right? I mean, we were pretty decent, but they were a little better, you know? Okay, you have that. That happens. You just can't block them. Like, they're just a little better than you. That's not really been the case here. And that's what's maddening, because even against Florida State, I mean, we got times we're just kind of, we're knocking them back. But we have a lot of what we call POA, point of attack issues, where there's a mistake or there's somebody falling off a block. And I'm not just saying the O-line either, right? Could be a fullback, could be a tight end, could be a misread by a back. We're very inconsistent. And you don't want to hear this, but the reality is it has a lot to do with a lot of inexperience. And you got to live with that until that gets better. And sometimes it just doesn't get better that quickly, you know? And that's where we got a lot of new faces. That's what we're really dealing with, inconsistency. And we've had plenty of opportunities, and we're missing those opportunities. Whether it be a play action pass or a run, you know, we're just one block off, one guy off, one misread off. We're leaving in each game right now, and this isn't coach talk, like, oh, we're leaving two and three touchdowns in each game. We're leaving them on the field. Without much more, we would have those, and that would really tilt where we are right now. But we're not getting them. The bottom line is they're not happening, and it's and we've had a few penalties in there, same stuff like a holding penalty, inopportune holding penalties, and we had one 2 weeks ago. We had one last week down in the red zone where we had the ball down to the 12-yard line or 15-yard line, and it comes back, and it just. And then what happens is, you're in these games, and you're trying to evaluate. You don't want to turn a thing over. You just want to be really, really careful in here, because the goal is not to increase your offensive stats. Your goal is to win. And in my opinion, you play to your defense right now to do that. Okay, I'm sure some people don't really get that, but that's okay. That's the way it is. That's life.
Conversely, I mean, as much as you struggled on offense and get that consistency.
Yep.
And how much you want to protect your defense because
yep.
they're the ones that are carrying you right now.
Right.
How encouraging is it to see that they've been pretty consistent?
Defense.
Yeah.
They're our most veteran unit. Those are where the older players are. They're, and they need to be that way, and that's good. And they're healthy.